Ago, Tiff and I chatted on the show about the most difficult jobs that exist. And we heard it all. You know, pilot, people say control tower person, teacher, tough job, firefighter, active military duty.
Yeah, but there was one job that we heard the most often, and that was being a parent. So today, we offer help from three guys, all dads, all passionate about helping other people be better parents. So here they are.
First, we have Dr. John Duffy. He's a clinical psychologist, certified life coach, and parenting expert. Who doesn't want to know a parenting expert, right? He wrote this book. It's called The Available Parent, and he has been working with teens for more than 15 years. Next, we have Jim Higley. He's a nationally recognized writer and radio host. His book, Bobblehead Dad, is a winning finalist in the International Book Award. He's a single dad with 3 kids. Jeff Wenzler is the founder and director of a character and leadership development program for young people. He has worked with middle school through college-age kids around the world for a long time. Hi, guys.
Hey. You guys are a handsome bunch of dads.
I was thinking the same thing.
I bet you were.
He was saying the same thing.
To himself in the mirror before you came out. I'm good. I look great. People love me. little
It's
Stuart
nice to have you guys.
Yeah.
Saturday Night Live skit going on.
Well, thanks for being here. You know, you guys are all parenting experts, and we heard it resounding. That was the answer on Facebook, that the hardest job that people feel they could ever have is being a parent. And you guys are putting on this event, which we'll talk about more in general, but 3D parenting is the name of it. What is a 3D parent? What does it mean to take on that type of parenting?
Oh, and first we want to say, because our producer will get mad at us if I don't say this, hold on one second, Jot. We want to let you ask some questions, so we posted on Facebook what the 3 amigos, as I like to call them, can answer your questions. So as you're hearing this discussion, if you have any questions, put them on Facebook and we'll answer them in just a couple minutes when we come back from a commercial break. But Jeff, go ahead, this 3D parenting event.
Yep, so 3D parenting, it's a straightforward approach for a parenting forum where it's a conversation, a nice dialogue with 3 of us, because we have a unique perspective with multidimensional results. And the 3D is the 3 dads. It's the 3 things that connect the 3 of us. And we've all had great results in our different professions with working with teens.
And you have kids ranging in age. You have the youngest, I think, Jeff,
4, 6, and 8.
4, 6, and 8. Okay. Jim, you have how old now?
Mine are 17, 21, and 23.
Oh,
okay.
Yeah.
And John?
Just 17.
Yeah, so you got a teenager. We've met him. So you're in the thick of things, having a teenager. Let's talk a little bit about who you think will be at this event. And I'm going to be moderating it next week, Monday night, and it's at Concordia. I'm looking forward to it. I always think with things like this, all you're going to see is moms. No dads will show up. What do you think?
You know, traditionally, I think that's exactly it, that there usually are an overwhelming presence of moms. But we also believe that as 3 fathers and 3 dads that professionally work with young people and with parents, that might be enough to encourage some more men to participate in this type of discussion. Not where we're lecturing, but where we're having a good dialogue. So Starting Point Ozaki and Positive Parent Involvement along with Concordia have teamed up with us and said, we'll help you get the word out to get more people at this type of an event.
I think it's great, and I think it's interesting to find men who've really focused their lives and their careers on parenting. You don't always see that, and I think it's a really positive step forward for a lot of men who are doing that in their lives and for you guys in your lives. Why did you decide to choose to focus your lives and your careers on being a parent and helping others be better parents? Jim?
Well, for me, I had a midlife crisis, and that midlife crisis was called cancer. And truthfully, that just, you know, like all of us have certain things. I was 44, I was diagnosed with advanced cancer, I was a single dad raising kids alone. It was hard to not come out of that without an Oprah aha moment. And that aha was my kids. You know, and I was a good dad. I feel like my kids might debate that, but I was a good dad. But I realized at that point there was something more. And so I really changed my whole approach to how I parented. And that's where I am now. You know, it's a journey.
What would be something specific? If you changed your approach, what is something that changed?
Number one thing, not to discourage people from coming, because this is a really important thing that I'll give away at the event next week. But the number one thing I learned, truthfully, is we don't have to fix everything for our children all the time. In fact, we shouldn't fix everything for our kids. And that for me was a real big revelation coming out of corporate America, where my job every day, 9 to 5, was to solve problems, strategize, give people directions. With kids, there's a huge value in listening and letting them work their way through the mud. a lot.
See, and I think that's fascinating. Well, a lot of things you just said are fascinating, but coming out of the corporate world, I was shocked, John, to find out that you were an accountant by education initially. You don't seem like a numbers guy to me.
This is a little kept
The
secret.
vest might give you away.
Yeah, the best. But you all have that corporate experience. Jeff, you were in pharmaceutical sales as a rep. You come from the corporate world, an accountant. Yet you all ended up in a profession where you're helping in different ways other people parent and working with young people. And what will shock people, John, is that you like working with teenagers.
I do.
And I like that you're out there and you say that.
I do. I love working with teenagers. I think teenagers kind of get a bad rap. I think we've decided, oh, this is a lost generation. These are difficult people. It's this rap they've had forever. It's probably a rap we had when we were teenagers. But they're really remarkable when you get to know them. And I think as, you know, loving, well-intentioned parents, sometimes we miss that because we get anxious trying to make things perfect, like Jim was saying a moment ago.
Well, yeah, and you know, Jim, it's like with younger kids, and Jeff's probably felt this a little bit with an 8-year-old. If my kids leave their lunch, I want to start crying, especially if it's later in the day and I can't bring it to school. And our principle's clear. If they leave their band instrument at home or their lunch or their homework, leave it at home. It's their responsibility. Now, your kids are a little older and you have a teen, John.
I do.
Isn't it hard to let kids fail? Because I know you feel passionate about this too, Jeff, letting kids fail.
It's really hard, but what better time, what other time, what choice do we have but to let them fail while we've still got them, while we can be available as guides and consultants to them, as opposed to 5-10 years from now when they are on their own. And if they fail, they're going to hit the ground hard. Now they've got us. If they need us, they've got us. But it's still their competence. It's not ours. It's not us running that band instrument over. They've got to figure out, okay, how do I accommodate for this during the day?
It's interesting, too, to me how deep parents take that. I'm not a parent, so I'm kind of the single woman out here, you know, for some of the things that you say. But my mom
would be like, hey, they forgot their lunch, no big whoop.
I'm really great at telling parents what to do, but but my mom was just here for 8 days, and we had, you know, I've had conversations with her over the past years about certain things that she felt if she could only have helped me with that. She holds those things that she feels oftentimes, why didn't I just help her? I could have saved that heartache for her, but she won't. And so, John, with that too, and you as well, Jeff, what do you think is the biggest mistake? You know, we heard what Jim says. What kind of mistake do you think is the biggest one that parents make? And is it that? Is it the failing?
To my thinking, it is that we get so anxious about failing that we lecture at our kids instead of listening to them.
You've said that, that's right.
So we talk at them and we think, I have a very narrow window to get this message through to them, so I'm going to keep talking and talking and maybe they'll hear it, instead of letting them do and fail and figure it out.
You know, I 100% agree. And the other thing I would add to that is I think so many of us parents place our value on our children. And so we want our kids to succeed so much because it makes us look good or feel good. And that's a real problem that we have to address as parents. We're not our kids. Our kids are their own people.
Closing thought on that, Jeff, and then we're going to take a break.
Yeah, each one of our kids, you know, has a vocational call. There's something that is unique to them, and somehow we have to let that unfold, to let that unpack. And honestly, what brings you joy, what are you good at, and where is there a need in the world? Those are 3 things I stress to all the teens that I work with so that they can connect some dots and say, this is what I'm good at, this is what brings me joy, and this is where it actually plays out in the world.
I love that. Giving teens a sense of purpose. I just had that conversation with my nephew this last Friday, and it's so important. We're going to have you guys stick around. We posted on Facebook, as Molly said, that the 3 amigos, as she likes to call them, are going to answer your questions after the break. What do you want to know about dealing with a teenager or tween or 20-something in your house? We'll have a chance to answer your questions when we come back.